Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 439 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So, being happy is the ultimate success. Would you agree with that? If you ask people what they really want, they'll usually say to be happy. Now, if they say something else, like to be in a relationship or to be wealthy, if you break it down, it eventually boils down to they think that having that person or that wealth will make them happy. So happiness is the ultimate success, in my opinion. Now, romantic relationships are a big part of our happiness or lack of. Sometimes things aren't going so well and we think the grass might be greener on the other side. And we wonder, would we be happier if we jump ship? So let's find out. Let's explore it a little bit. There's a song I love that if you really think about it, it's funny and true and a bit of a conundrum all at the same time. It's the Pina Colada song. Well, that's what I call it, but officially it's called Escape. You probably know it. In the song, there's a lady and she takes out a personal ad that says, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga and you have half a brain. I'm not ever going to sing for you guys. Don't even ask. But this is a great song. It's classic. Now, there is a man who is currently sitting in bed with his longtime partner, and he's reading the newspaper, and he comes across that ad. Well, he immediately takes out his own ad and says, I love pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. I'm not much into yoga. I'm totally into champagne. I have to meet you by tomorrow noon at a bar called O'Malley's. Let's cut through all the red tape. So there he is, the next day, sitting in the bar waiting for the woman of his dreams to walk in. And when she does, he recognizes her immediately. It's his own lovely lady. Now, I say it's a conundrum because neither one of them can really be mad at it, right? But they were obviously meant to be. The universe is telling them that. They just have to reconnect, to get to know each other all over again. Because life happened and they thought they needed something new when what they really needed was to awaken what had always been there. Now, that song was released in 1979 by Rupert Holmes. If you haven't listened to it, it's called Escape. Go listen to it. It's hilarious and I love it. But it's remained a big hit. And it stayed really popular because long-term relationships can get stale if we let them. I mean, we don't like to admit that, but it's true. And the scary thing about that song is both of them felt like they needed a little something new, but they didn't talk to each other about it. How easily that could have turned into the destruction of a really good marriage because things got a little boring or stale. Now, I'm not saying you should stay somewhere that's making you miserable. I would be a hypocrite for that. My first husband and I were very different. We were young when we met, and I was somewhat looking for a way to get out of my parents' house, and I think he was too. Now, I wasn't feeling happy living at home at 19, and he wasn't really happy, period. That's how I remember it. It's been a long time, though. So I felt like this thing over here, this external thing, that's going to fix my unhappiness that I was feeling inside. That may work for a minute, but it doesn't last. I had to go up really fast when I married him. Now, I'm thankful for that experience because it made me who I am today. All of our experiences do. But I noticed I went from one unhappy situation to another. Now, I'm a natural optimist and I am easily happy, so I was making the best of it for a while. But I realized that in order for him to be happy, he wanted things about me to change. He wanted me to do things I didn't feel right doing. And so I felt like I was constantly having to make a decision between doing what was right for me and doing what might make him momentarily happy. I realized at one point that I was having trouble keeping and maintaining my sanity and my own happiness because I was constantly having to be wary of his. Now, eventually I had a decision to make. So I decided I was better off on my own, tending to my own happiness and letting him tend to his. Turns out I was right. Now, I had gone into it naively thinking I could fix my unhappiness externally. And so I jumped at the chance to get out of the house, which did not work out so well. I'm a better version of me today than I was back then. Self-improvement is a passion for me. And when I met my forever husband, that's what I call Eric, my husband now, I was happy and he was happy and we were happy to come together because self-improvement is also a passion for him. So even though we've been together for almost 18 years, we've both continued to grow and improve together. Now, we have had moments where it was really hard, and I think we've grown most during those moments. The key was, though, we grew together through the hard times instead of growing apart. I had hormone issues that nearly tore us apart. And at one point, I was really struggling, but he looked at me and he said, I'm going to love you through anything. I want you to know that. And he did. And once we realized what the problem was, it was a hormone thing for me, I was right back to being my happy self. And I tell you that because if you have all of a sudden gone from happy to unhappy and it doesn't make sense, whether you're a man or a woman, go get your hormones checked. Our food sources and the chemicals in our environment will leach some people of hormonal balance. And I was one of those people. So I got my hormones in balance and everything returned to normal. It was like in 7 days, which is how long it took for the hormones to take effect. I also tell this story because when I was out of balance hormonally, I was so unhappy. I thought I needed a change in my life completely. And looking back, that would have taken everything from bad to worse because Eric is the love of my life. And I couldn't see it for my own unhappiness at the time, which was just a chemical problem that was easily fixed by natural hormone therapy. Sometimes we think we aren't happy, so maybe we need to change something externally. And maybe that makes you happy for the moment, but then it wears off, and now you need a new dopamine hit to make you happy. And then you're off on a never-ending chasing of dopamine, which is very different from true internal happiness. You constantly need more and more to be happy, and it may lead you to even think your partner is the problem. You think, oh, I'm not happy with him. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe you're just not happy, full stop. Until you can firmly say with no hesitation that I am happy with myself and I don't think he is who I'm meant to be with, you don't need to go anywhere. That would have been a big problem if I'd have done that when I was not feeling happy. Fix what's wrong inside before you ever try to fix what you think is wrong outside. I beg you. Because as long as you are not truly happy with yourself, you'll never be truly happy with another person either, because you're trying to fill a void. If you get happy with yourself, those voids, they fill in on their own, and you're able to attract someone that is also happy with themselves. Like attracts like. My first marriage, I tried to fix my unhappiness by changing something externally, and so did he, and it didn't work. My current marriage, I met him when I was happy and he was happy. I didn't need him to make me happy, and he didn't need me to make him happy either. And we've both continued to grow and work on self-improvement the entire 18 years we've been together. If you're not happy, you aren't going to be happy with someone new either, not for long. We can't expect our partner to find our happiness for us because they can't, even if they wanted to, or maybe even if they try and try. You got to do that for yourself. But if you're not happy inside, changing something outside will only bring temporary dopamine-driven happiness, not true internal happiness. So do what you need to find your internal happiness, and you may find that your partner comes along for the ride and your relationship gets better because of it. Or maybe they don't come along for the ride, and that will be okay too. Now, if you're both happy, but you just feel like you need something new, maybe ask your partner if they like pina coladas or getting caught in the rain. You may be surprised by their answer. Share this with 3 people who may need a pina colada. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.